Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back, joined live by Dr. Michael Kell. You got great lighting. You look amazing today. Live on the Zoomcast and podcast. He is back here to talk all about the work he does. And boy, oh boy, he does a lot. He's also an author and does so much. Enlightenment123.org. Is that the best way we can reach you?
I don't know how to get hold of me anymore.
He's like, whatever. He's so fun.
That's fine. They can
welcome
try.
back. Introduce yourself, new listeners today. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin today's conversation, please.
Okay, my name is Dr. Michael Kell, but I disguise myself when I write sometimes with pen names and Michel Polyakov. Well, actually, he's a real baron for me, but I changed the name. Is what I write under right now. But I may change it in the future. If I change genres, I'm told I have to change my name because people don't like it when the authors change. So we're doing that. But I guess one good thing is that I know Miss Jill is the starlet of Old Brave TV. Yes, she is. So
I try.
Okay, so the good news is I'm going to be starting on that.
Awesome.
Broadcasting thing. I don't know, probably in 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Depends how long I need training from Anastasia.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm excited.
I can't wait to see you. All right. Excited to have you here.
Thank you. But I want to talk about something today. It's a little different than I've talked about before. But you got to remember, all the stuff I tell you is angelic level knowledge. And so it's usually more right than human knowledge. But I think one of the most important things, particularly in health, but in relationships too, is to ask a question that nobody ever asks you to ask yourself. But it's probably the most important question you ever could ask in order to generate a successful life. So when your mortal body disintegrates and you pass on to heavenly realms or hellish realms, you can at least look back and say, with all the knowledge I have now, I could have done a better job, but actually I did a really good job considering what I knew at the time. That's sufficient. Okay. And bad people would never say that. Because once you're dead, it's just, you got to see truth. And so the question is who do you actually trust the most of all entities? And that would include formless ones, such as God. Okay. But the people never ask themselves who they really trust. If you think about it, who can you really trust? If you're lucky, you have a really good spouse or a good friend who most of the time is doing things that are helpful to you. But sometimes maybe acting automatically, you're not thinking, and does something harmful. And they share remorse, so that's good. And so if you look at all your relationships, and with everything, with the government, I mean, who could trust the government?
Yeah.
You'd have to be stupid. That doesn't mean everything they do is wrong, because some people in there have honor, especially in agencies. And so if you don't know who to trust, where do you get your confidence from? Yeah. Because confidence is really, it's not our confidence in ourselves. You say, I have confidence in Jill. Why? Because I can trust her because she showed herself to be reliable, in various sundry ways. But she's not perfectly reliable, just like I'm not perfectly reliable. Because we all have our issues, haven't got resolved yet. And so if you think about it, who do children trust? Babies, the young kids, they trust their parents. Okay, now that's an honest trust of something higher that they feel is good and beneficial. But parents aren't perfect, and so parents make mistakes with their children. And and the mistakes have consequences because the child trusts and has confidence in the parent. So if you think about it, there's absolutely no way humankind, looking for something within our human realm or psychic realm, could find something they could actually trust that would work. Clearly, you can't trust humans totally. The world wouldn't be so messed up. There wouldn't be genocides all the time. People wouldn't be listening just because their boss says, go do that. And they do it because they want to be part of their group. And so there's actually nothing we can trust that's human made, 100%. Yeah. So where would you look to find something to trust? Now, that's not a very difficult question, because if you realize the family is the critical unit for human life, that children automatically trust the parents. Now, they know more than the kid does, so it's not too bad, but you have to find something higher than you are to trust. Something that always works for the benefit of everyone. okay? Because without that kind of surety, that things, I'll explain a little more, but that kind of surety, it's hard to know what to do actually. It's beneficial for everybody. It's altruistic. It helps you. At the same time, it helps other people. If it doesn't help other people, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't work. And so we've had, mankind's history is violent wars, subrogation of people that people think inferior to them, women for always time, probably most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's a really bad thing. And so if you don't have trust in something that's actually truly trustable, it's hard to be as powerful as you can be. And so I want to turn to religion a little bit here. Not that I support it necessarily, because humans make religion, and God doesn't actually care. But they make religion, and what they believe and how things work, and that gets continued in the afterlife. At least for that part of the species, okay? Maybe different universes is different, or different planets out there. And so you have to find something to really, really trust. Now you ask about, well, how do miracle healings happen? How did Jesus heal people? And there's some evidence Jesus actually lived. And even if he didn't live, the people who wrote that story were extremely intelligent and attuned to something higher than they are. Because if you actually read the Gospels, you have some historical information, they have some symbolic information, but you can actually apply them really easily to your self-development. What are demons? Demons are ideas you have and feelings and beliefs you have in you that don't help you. They hurt you. So we need to cast them out, just like that exercise. You let them go and you fill them with something better. Okay. And so when people, have cancer, and some people do get miracle cures, some people don't. Same thing with all kinds of health illness. And so people who have an inherent trust in God and live in a godly manner, whatever religion it is, okay, could be Krishna and Radha, could be Jesus, could be Yahweh, could be Saivism, doesn't matter. Yeah. But when you really have faith in God, and a connection with whatever your sacred image to God, if you need a sacred image, then you open yourself to the fundamental power in the universe.
True.
Because clearly the universe can't just be a material thing. I mean, people who believe that are really misinformed.
True.
Because then you have to come up with a material reason how they got here. And it's hard to do. And so it does appear that in terms of every universe being formed, it may not be formed like it says in Genesis. That's probably highly unlikely. But the universe comes into being. But scientists, if you ask them, well, what's the probability of our universe being here? It's 1 out like 10 to the 400th power. I don't know. I just guessing, okay? But it's so improbable that all the physical constants have to be exactly what they are in many, many decimal places. So they say it's really, really rare a universe goes here. But I say a universe is here. So therefore, a universe has a probability of 100%. A universe will always be here because somehow that's the one way things can come. All these things are constant every single time. What happens in the universe is different. But the constants are set up. And look at all natural laws. I mean, gravitation, we have a macroscopic way, we have a relativistic way, but they work as the mathematics predicts. And you can't cheat. You can't trick. That's okay. You can't trick them. And so what are laws? Well, laws are like intelligent action. And attempt to relate to all kinds of things. And so I would say anybody who wants to say that there isn't an intelligence in the universe is being rather short-sighted. Okay, and thinking very unhealthy thoughts. And it's not about afterlife necessarily. It's about maximizing your life here so you actually can die knowing you did something that was useful for humanity. If this is only your little town, okay, or your little family, doesn't matter. Everybody has a job. And so if there's intelligence in the universe, which means things operate under law, then that means that whatever makes this universe up at its most fundamental level, whatever kind of formless energy it is or formless force, it's kind of hard to say the term to use, exists. So why would you not trust that?
No.
Because it created everything and there's a purpose to the universe. I mean, Michel talked about that a long time. Religious people, prophets, saints, talked about it for a long time in all religions. And so what people need to do is actually do what our forefathers said when they made their currency. See,
There
$20
we
bill.
are. Oh my
What's it
goodness.
say on the back?
In God we trust.
Right. In God we trust. Now, their concept of God or our concept of God may have changed a little bit. But unless we understand that there's someone we have to answer to, or something we have to answer to, or some duty we have, we will never be full human beings. You know, and we're going to continue believing what other people tell us, which is sometimes true, but it's not as complete as something higher could tell you. An angel can tell you more. A saint that's just, discarnate could tell you more. They've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, and so just recognizing that there's something higher than you that is absolutely truthful to you. You know, you may not know the details what's going on, but you can attune to. And people who can attune to that force, even if they have to use an image, it's better just to acknowledge it's there and just ask for the power to flow into you. Other people can heal people. You know, Jesus could do that. It wasn't because they believed, it wasn't 100% because they just believed he could do it. That was important because he opened up a channel for him to let the energy flow through him, because he said, Father and I are the same. So what he does, what Dad does, I can do. Right? And so the people were healed. And it wasn't all psychosomatic stuff. And so people just need to start thinking about these things. See, it make me happy.
Yeah.
And make your children happy eventually if more people thought this way.
Yeah.
See, so when the new show is coming up, John and I haven't quite figured out the name yet. We haven't talked to him for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's going to be about healing on a very high level, and how it works, what goes on, how to activate it. And I'm sure he says we have to have sponsors to pay us to make the show go on, so we all make money. That's good. Then we'll have to have herbal people talk about herbs and things that actually work. Ness and I hate more than a lying marketer. I don't hate them, but they disgust me. That's a better word. That's the base emotion. They disgust me. And I was talking to somebody, a Christian Michelson's group, which you probably know, and a guy named Ben Gibson the other day, and he goes, Mike, what do you think about marketing? I said, I don't like marketing. Why? Because it's too shady. It's too much behavioralist space to get people to spin people to do something just to spend their money, not necessarily help them. And he goes, well, what do you do? Well, I can sell stuff. I had to do all my life. Not products, but sell technology, sell things to do. Sell health to patients, with hypnosis and things. And he goes, well, in the old days, you could say sales included marketing. So you just have a really old idea, but marketing just gets you so you can have sales. So why don't you just forget that a lot of marketers are just scumbags, and just focus on what you need to do to get marketed. If you have stuff to offer, it's worthwhile. So I told him, okay, it's gone. I'm ready. It's that fast. Those feelings are dissipated. Well, because I practiced that exercise for a long time. But so, just take everybody just take $1 out or 20. I think it's on all of them. I don't have 100 with me, so I can't say. But it's on the back of everything, I think we know. I mean, the God we trust. And if people would just keep the word God and take out religion. Okay? Religion is man-made. Even when Jesus said he was going to, but Jesus is a good example because he really was a cool guy, okay? Really smart. When he said, I'm going to build my church on, Peter, he didn't mean the church we have today. He meant a community of people that are altruistically activated to help each other, and get rid of oppression. And what did the people do? They made it into the Catholic Church, made it into, the Jews were doing it before. So it's just messed up.
Yeah.
You can ask me questions now if you want. I can't think of what they'll say next.
No, there's so much to you. I still haven't figured you out fully. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, okay, if I was to do a show with you like we're doing now, we would need like hours just to talk, to get your background, who you are, what you do, how you're evolving, your books, your works. Are you like, because on a daily basis? What is it like at the day in the life of? You wake up at what time? What do you do during the day? Fill me in
Okay,
on.
I'll tell you. It's boring, okay, in some ways.
Really? No, come
Yeah, I
on.
mean, some people call it boring, but I get up at like 8 o'clock usually. I have to take a shower because that's my
Okay.
it turns my
What
day
time
on.
do you go to
Okay?
bed?
Well, that's variable between 9 and 11. Just depends on who I have to talk to. If later I do phone calls at night, and so I get up and then I make my coffee. Then I go down, check my email, see if I have to talk to anybody that asks me to come for a conversation. Then I just work on my projects. Sometimes I talk to someone in a Zoom meeting, talk to you. So I do things, but it's not like it doesn't seem exciting to other people, but it's really pleasant to me just to be working on projects. Occasionally I have a chance to go back to books and stuff where I find something I wrote a while back and I go, oh, I forgot about that. That's really cool. I'm gonna have to work on that a little more. And then I eat dinner. And I don't watch TV very much. I listen to music sometimes, but I don't think my life's exciting at all. Well, actually, it could be. Sometimes it's really exciting.
Do you go to the grocery store? Do you go out to dinner? What's your?
I go to the grocery store. I go out to dinner sometimes. And I haven't been to a movie for like forever. But I watch a movie once on Netflix. Usually not very good, but just for a break. And I talk to people during the day that have problems that need a little encouragement. You see, but the part is, in some ways, that's really good because you see, what I can teach people that I've learned is important. My only importance is to be able to teach them it, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And then if we start charging for this, I mean, they're going to have to help support the organization that grows, right? If this gets big, and then my life should be more exciting. Not that I care. I romance a lot. Not in a bad way, but in a nice way. A very sweet way. And that's very pleasurable for me. I just watches a woman smile when she feels kind of upset, just start smiling. Go, I see you smiling, Jill.
Like all pissy, like angry, but not like.
But I mean, it's just nice to watch them. Because my opinion of women is like number one. Actually, 0, which is even before 1. But people would understand that if I said that.
Aww.
So.
How's the weather there?
Yeah, it's cold last night. It was like 27. Now it's probably like 50. It's a little bit chilly, but the sun's out, so it's okay. Peace, New York.
It's snowing here right now.
Well, and then you're a nice warm house. That's good.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's snowing. It's we had 1 inch or 2 inches of snow this whole year. We got nothing, and now today it's snowing. But again, another like inch or 2. We're missing it.
They used to, like a long time ago, I moved here in 79, California, and they used to have really bad January, February, really cold months in Atlanta. They didn't get snow very often, but they would get ice storms. It could be like 6 inches of ice after the storm, sleeting coming down and stuff. And the roads would be clogged for a couple of days, because they don't have any plows or anything. So.
Yeah. Well, I got, wow, I got my kids getting their haircut tonight. Exciting. We got the PTA meeting tonight. Exciting. Like, what else? That's it. That's my excitement. Might at the grocery store. We're out of Captain Crunch and peanut butter. Yeah. Yeah, the days. Oh my God, I would love to have freedom to live alone, to do what I want. It'd be so nice and so inspiring. I mean, you make a difference in people's lives. I make a difference in my children's lives. What?
You do.
Yeah,
Agreeing with you.
It's different. Oh my God, everything is, things in life just change so much, and it's so crazy. But today's a good day. Daylight savings times backed us up a little yesterday, which I think needs to go away. What are your thoughts on that? Come on, you're a smart guy. Do we need to get rid of this daylight savings time?
Daylight savings time was invented to spare because they couldn't make enough candles.
Was that really why?
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin invented it.
Okay.
But I don't think he meant to carry it on as
Forever.
a general principle. Okay. And I could see maybe in the I don't say, I mean, I can see candles saving candles. Okay, if people go to bed, went to bed early, in those days. But I don't see how it can save much electricity because you still got this. People aren't going to bed that much later. Maybe they change their time a little bit. But it's insane. I mean, I got messed up with the Zoom meeting because of that. Because I don't check it very often, and they change the day every year. So it didn't matter because I didn't care. But no, but it's just, I think, it's like people want thrills in their life. I mean, I used to race cars, and I almost got killed a few times. But it wasn't for the thrill of racing. It was because you have to be really careful. You have to pay attention to everybody else. And so it makes you more respect people's actions more, even if they're not the best, and pay attention to them. And so when I used to come back from like a week of racing and practicing, my office people said, "Go, Dr. Kell, man, you're so quiet. You're quieter than usual. You're nicer than usual." I go, "Yeah, I spent a week trying not to get killed." So that'd make you nice too. And it's just less, people want thrills all the time, aren't happy with simple things.
Yeah.
I mean, think when you were, so when I was like in 8th grade, I remember going out with Marta Streeter to a movie with a friend of mine. I lived right close to her. Yeah, and so I got to hold her hand. That was like so cool.
How old were you?
I rode you are in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade.
Is that like 12, 13? I don't even know.
Like 12, probably.
Okay.
And so it's always little simple things, and you do something nice for somebody, it's with you. Khrushchev would call it being externally considerate instead of being internally considerate. Just to see that they like it, or they have a smile or something. It's just like such a nice feeling. And that's probably because I'm enmeshed a lot of times in newborn feeling. But it doesn't mean I'm adventurous. Boy, I can be so adventurous, people are shocked. But not about things people think to be adventurous about. So I don't know. But I'm looking forward to having a really good show with on Bold Brave TV.
Well, thank you.
I have plans. I told John some of them. I have plans for that station.
Are you coming here? Are you going to do a show with us? Like a live in-person show?
Well, I don't know, because Savannah's pretty far away. So I don't know if it costs to go up there and have to stay.
Come here for us. True.
Well, actually, I can when more money comes in. Or I could come up for an interview. That's not a big deal. Or just to talk. But I had a dream the other day about you and I were doing like a morning talk show. Well, after the kids were in school. Okay, after the kids were in school, talk show. So that was.
Wait, so now it's going to be Jill.
That was people. I like that. People really liked it because it made them look at inward, made them be kinder to each people. It's really good news. It shows the good side of humanity. No egotistical people coming on that think they're so great they have to cut them down. But that might be fun too.
Doesn't happen much. There's some people full of themselves, but no, not too much.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, see, you're my role model.
So I guess I'll give you all the tips and tricks. If you're nervous about interviewing someone, I was always told this. To look out to the audience if you're doing a speech or something and just pretend everyone's in their underwear, going to the bathroom, sitting on the toilet. You'll feel a lot better. You'll have a lighter face. You don't look anxious. You just picture everyone like on the.
That's I like that metaphor.
But see, it makes you laugh, makes you think about something silly, like something so ordinary that everyone does. But now picture everyone in the audience naked and doing that. It's like, oh, okay. Everyone's just like me. Okay, we could get through this, right?
And that'd probably be okay because once I get used to being on video, see, I'm used to talking to people in real life a lot or on phones. So it never made me nervous. I was always open. I always wanted to know what they had to say that was important to people, and interact with them and try to help bring it out. So I have to get used to video and stuff, but I don't think like how Jean-Michel got my light set everything is not right. So we're working on that. Getting things up. So.
Well, I gotta go. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We got a minute left.
That's good.
3:02. How did you want to leave off for today? My goodness.
Well, I would recommend, and I doubt if too many people would do this, but the people who are serious about life will just to take out a dollar bill or take out whatever money you have in your pocket and actually meditate on that back of the bill. In God we trust.
Yeah.
And try to come up with some reason why I am incorrect.
Yeah.
But there isn't anyone that's incorrect. Because people can get religion mixed up with God. I mean, even scripture is written by people, right? I mean, it can say inspired by God for the times. There's only one case actually where God is said to have written on stones in the Himalayas. And it's called Saivism, which is like Shiva is the god, it's like the supreme god. And he wrote all this Upanishad down, things, which I got a copy of. And so the guy said, I read it on the rocks. So when they went back years later and find where he said he was, because he could locate it, there wasn't anything on the rocks. So now it makes it questionable whether that was just, metaphor that you see it right on the rocks. We actually saw it because imagined it on the rocks.
Exactly. But
it wasn't really written on the rocks. That's actually only the hard evidence that you could say that God ever wrote anything or God ever wrote anything. So.
Thank you for the insight. If we want to reach you, how do we do so? Please remind us.
So say go to email or support, either one, at enlightenment123.org.
Okay, perfect. And in the meantime, we'll
that way it will show up on my phone, so I can make sure I have to answer.
Got it. If not, email. He checks his emails, guys. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. We'll talk next week and enjoy your
It's 1 o'clock next week.
warm day. Okay, I'll be there. I don't know my schedule till day
I mean,
of.
actually tell me every single time it was.
Okay, I'll see you next week. I'm sure.
Bye-bye.
We'll have
Take
it down.
care.
Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.